One of the things I've enjoyed the most over these last few years when it comes to my knife content in particular is really getting familiar with what people at large really like and what is really considered the most popular. A knife company that I believe has taken the culmination of what people love and are attracted to and put that into a series of blades is a Swedish company called FALLKNIVEN. These blades resemble so many of the blades that are most popular, especially here in America, but with a design that's next level, that's equipped with a lot more of what we love and what we look for. But the one problem is that they didn't execute on the sheath. But let's take a look at one of these in particular. Stick around. This is their S1. They've got A1, they've got all kinds of different ones. This is their mid-size. Based on my observation, I think that this style of knife and design is a summarization of what I believe to be most popular with people when it comes to fixed blades. If you were to interview me and say, Daniel, what do you believe is the most popular, attractive blade type to the majority when it comes to fixed blades, I would tell you clip point. Then I would maybe go into drop point, but I consider this a clip point. This looks a lot like your very popular SRK. Now you have some clip points that have more of a curve like the Buck 119, Buck 120, but I would hold this blade up in front of the camera and say, I believe this is the most popular blade shape with fixed blades. This is also very similar to your K-bar, your Gerber strong arm, and just all the blades that are most popular. Well, FALLKNIVEN seized upon that because I think this looks as good, if not better, than all that I have just described. I even find this blade a little bit more attractive than the SRK. The SRK is very similar, but I find this more attractive, and they achieved what I believe to be the most popular blade type. Another thing that people are really attracted to is ergonomics. Good ergonomic handles, which you're going to find with K-bar knives, Gerber strong arms, SRKs. They all have that in common. They all have that ergonomic, overmolded, comfortable handle that people just love. But oftentimes people will give up the classic full tang design in order to have that. Well, with the FALLKNIVEN, you really don't have to do that. If you have an SRK, you know how different the handle is from this. The tang on the SRK goes down into the handle and it is secured by a rivet like this, but it doesn't come all the way through like this does. Many fixed blades out here that are considered combat style knives don't really have a traditional full tang design. Like your K-bars don't, your SRK does not. I could name a few others, but this is something that I believe achieves both. I think that people are going to love the fact that that tang comes all the way through and is sticking out the bottom, but yet they don't have to give up that ergonomic handle. So something I believe FALLKNIVEN has achieved is that this is probably the perfect hybrid between bushcraft and combat style, because it's got a military combat style look to it, but yet it's built well enough to go do whatever you need to do out here. Another feature that this knife has that people are drawn to is simplicity. People are drawn to simplicity a lot of times when it comes to fixed blade knives. I know I am. If something is too loud, too colorful, too exotic, I don't like it. I won't buy it. I don't even want it. This has the kind of simplicity that I'm drawn to all day, every day, and I think that many others are as well. This is a VG10 steel, and it's razor sharp right out of the box and super ergonomic. You can look at this and tell, you know, what it's capable of. It's got a nice thick spine there, a more sturdy handle than the SRK, and it just is what it is. It speaks for itself. This is around $155 on Amazon. And the next size up, the A1, which gives you about another inch on the blade, is around $200. Here's what blows my mind. They manufacture something like this, and then they give it a sheath like this. If you like this sheath, I apologize in advance, but I just think it feels cheap. It's got a cheap look to it. Now, you can put this in, and it's got a nice little slip in, and you can lock it down right here. So you've got crazy retention. You're not going to be able to pull this knife out with this locked down. But I think about things like, what if this malfunctions, which could happen very easily? It feels like very cheap plastic. I just don't like it. I do like how you can hang it on your belt, because I don't like stuff to ride high. I do like that. But crazy to me how you can come up with this much perfection and then have this much missed opportunity. I went out and just ordered me a standard nylon sheath to put this in, because I like nylon and leather when I'm wearing knives out in the public, especially. If I'm walking around out here, this is fine. I'm just perplexed that you can achieve this with the blade, how you can't achieve so much more with the sheath. Now, sheaths are subjective. We all like different kinds of sheaths, but even something very similar to just a Cold Steel Secure X style sheath for these would have been so much more well received. I'm not necessarily a Secure X sheath fan. I think a lot of those sheaths dull the blades, but a good leather sheath, a good nylon sheath would have been perfect for me. Something like SOG did for the Seal Pup. I would have loved that, a way to put a type of sheath where you could add a sharpener or a multi-tool, similar to the SOG Seal Pup sheath. Anything like that would have been better than this. I know how YouTube is. Some people are going to come in the comments and say, how come you didn't beat the knife up and show us what it could do? Because that's not the type of video that I'm making. I'm making a subject matter video with regards to popular designs and what makes them popular. And I couldn't think of a better knife to do that with than the FALLKNIVEN blade here, the S1. And I would like to have the A1. And I know they even have a Pro series for these, but I like the S1 and A1 best out of everything they do. I'll end by saying this. When I look at an SRK CPM 3V, black handle, satin finish, I'm looking at something beautiful. But FALLKNIVEN has the same thing, but with a handle construction that I think is so much better. And that's my thoughts with regards to FALLKNIVEN. I've criticized the SRK a lot and gotten in trouble for it here on YouTube, but that's just because I believe in it so much and I love the look and feel of it. But I always wanted the SRK to do something like this. Imagine if they took even their budget SK5 version and updated it to look like that, to be built that way. Man, you'd never be able to get an SRK. They'd be selling so much. Here's where I would like to end the video. I want to ask you as the viewer, what knife do you look at and think to yourself, and that is perfect, that is everything I love, that is everything I look for? I'd love to hear that in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you, my friend, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.